Tekken 8 is finally here, and whenever I had free time, whenever I wasn't working or editing, I've been putting an hour or two into this game. I was planning on making a couple videos of me playing the story mode and arcade quest from beginning to end, but of course the day the game launches, my capture card went on the fritz. Of course. And I just felt it was too disingenuous to make a run from beginning to end on the story and the arcade quest when I've already played through both of them, because I wasn't going to not play the game because of my capture card. So instead I collected gameplay I did manage to get while I was trying to figure out why my capture card was acting the way it was. And I just want to discuss this game for a bit because Tekken 8 is awesome. I'll briefly talk about the story mode, and I'm going to assume that most people have seen Chapter 1 of this game either because of the demo or the many Let's Plays that are already out there. So I'll skip over that section for the most part. The first thing I was very surprised by was Bandai took Jin's moveset and either took away or added moves to further tell its story through its gameplay. After almost losing himself completely to the Devil Gene, the chapters afterwards took away his moves that incorporated those devil powers. It's brilliant in that it creates a challenge for the player, and also it conveys the character arc that Jin is going through as a character. On a side note, I found myself getting frustrated with players on YouTube. Because my capture card was out, I was wanting to watch other people's Let's Plays, and nobody caught on to, at least the people that I watched, to why certain moves were taken away from Jin. They just looked at him as, I don't have these moves anymore, but never caught on to the story. Anyways, it's completely irrational, but I was just surprised at how many people missed it. But anywho, the next section I took note of that I absolutely loved was the tournament section. It's also another great idea that they had to let the players decide who wins or loses in the tournament. It both lets players knowledgeable in the Tekken universe to pick their favorites and let them shine for a little bit, and for new players to venture around and pick characters and figure out which ones that they like or would end up liking. After that, the Tekken Force mode, or if you're not familiar with Tekken, kind of like arena fighter-like section, was a really fun nod to the past Tekken games with their Tekken Force mode, and it was really fun. But I feel like if you didn't know the Tekken Force modes, I don't know if you would think it would be really out of place. So it was just a very curious, it was definitely like, it felt like this game was geared towards true fans of Tekken 8 when it came to the story, but the rest of the game is so inviting and brilliant, which I'll talk about later, for new players. I felt it was like really, I don't know, it's pretty hot and cold. I don't know exactly how to think about it, but as someone who knows about Tekken Force mode, I had a lot of fun seeing that section. But the big thing, the main thing that is incredible about this story is literally its last two chapters. They're incredible. But once again, if you're new to the world of Tekken, I have no idea how you would know what is happening during, especially that last fight. What is happening with Jin's moveset. I don't know if you would get that if Tekken 8 is your first Tekken. So, once again, really hammering on to the fact that they assume you've played all of their games and that this isn't the first one for the story mode. So, it's going to take some research to kind of understand what that is. And I'm sure someone's going to put a video out on it. It's so cool to watch Jin's move list go from his origins in Tekken 3 to 4 to 5 to getting June's moves, his mother, to make like the best version of Jin against that Kazuya fight. It's absolutely brilliant. I could not stop playing that last fight with a smile, man. It's so good. Those last two chapters were so good. And on the opposite end of this, to where the story mode had an extremely badass presentation, but was very dependent on legacy players to understand and to get the nods that they were trying to present, Arcade Quest has a very unassuming skin, but it is otherwise a really, really smart game mode. I discussed briefly on a past video that while playing the Tekken 8 demo, it was bringing me back to when I would play Tekken 4 at the arcade. So with this game mode, it really scratches that itch, but in a surprisingly brilliant way. But this game mode is smart for a multitude of reasons. For the players that are getting into the world of Tekken, I really highly recommend just booting up the game and starting with Arcade Quest. First thing I was surprised by was the tutorials, either the recommended moves or the tutorial sections, seek new sections of the games, changes based on whatever character that you play. This is so smart for people who are new to the game and just want to pick a character that they like to look at, and it will teach you how to play Tekken 8 while also teaching you in really smart bite-sized sections of how to play the character through that game mode. So for example, on the first, when you're at the Gong arcade, all of the AI is designed to deal with the bite-size section that Max, your friend through the story, his name is Max, will teach you. So if you keep following those recommended cards, you can start learning your character through bite-sized sections to how to be playing Tekken 8 with your character. It's extremely smart. And for me, when I was playing through this game mode, I saw some tutorials and would skip them, but super quickly. Like the very next chapter, ended up not skipping those tutorials anymore because I realized that they were based on the character that I picked. And for the rest of my playthrough from that point on till the very end, I did all of the tutorials and I kept the recommended moves up at all times. It was teaching me so much about the game in a really, really easy to digest manner. For the recommended cards, the way that I would recommend using them if you're new to Tekken is I would use them like memory cards, to where you can start memorizing the move list of your character 5 moves at a time, but the AI will always play based on those recommended moves. There's even a punishment section, and it teaches you punishes based on your character, so you can start learning how your character plays its poke or punish game. You can learn how your character air combos for like an entry-level air combo. You get to learn all of these things through sections in different arcades in this game mode. So, as an example, like I ended up picking up Yoshimitsu in this game. And whenever I decided to pick up another character, I'll probably pick that character and go back to Arcade Quest to learn this character through this system, because I think it's that good and it's that smartly put together. I'm finding myself becoming emotionally invested into this game. Tekken 8 is working its ass off to make sure you're enjoying the journey of learning its games and mechanics. And for someone that wants to grow to a level of player to compete in this game, I could not be happier with the Tekken 8 experience. After loving fighting games for so long and trying to teach friends who are new to the genre the joy of these games, but never being able to translate that love to beginners, this game's Arcade Quest, extremely deep training mode, the badass story, and the constant rewards it gives you both offline and online makes this, in my opinion, the gold standard for the fighting game genre. Before this game launched, I was just excited to finally return to Tekken, but after playing this game for a weekend, I find this game to be truly special. Not only special for me as a fan of fighting games, but Special is a very well put together love letter to why fighting games are so great. Now that I've played the story, the arcade quests, it's time to start jumping on ranked matches and getting ready for Evo. And to finish this video by completely stealing a quote from the arcade quest, as long as there is Tekken, your story will continue.